Longpo, in another case, if we have to cut down the number of our employees, on what dhamma principle should we base our decision on?
In reality, as you recruited them, you feel that you already have selected them well. Each time if you are to fire them, you are the first to be blamed because you made a wrong judgment or you did not know how to select. It's not to blame the employee only. On the other hand, if you know that you did select the right person, but if you didn't fully train them, this is also the employer's mistake. Now, after a thorough examination, you feel that you have to fire them because they are not as competent as you expected, or they are appalling. You have to be very cautious. Don't do it with ill feeling, because if you are to dismiss any employee, and if it's your fault, even if it is minor, it could be fatal. Remember, it is already complicated to recruit employees, but to dismiss them is even more difficult. Therefore, before each dismissal, think carefully. You have to gradually weigh the degree of severity or types of fault. To lay the employee off, you have to find out whether it's the employee's fault or if he or she is not suitable. Don't use the word fault yet. If they are not suitable, and other people also agree about that, and the employee also agrees to the fact, then the dismissal is quite easy, and no one can reproach us. With such a careless employee, it is better to get rid of him or her, and if colleagues do also agree with them, then this is not too dangerous for you. It is fine to dismiss the employee. How is it with the second category of candidate who is not responsible morally? They might be responsible about work, but they don't have morality, such as they might drink alcohol in secret, borrow money from friends, but don't reimburse something like that. You can't keep these people, because they are not responsible morally. It is better to fire them, because they are not easy to train. How is it with the third category of candidate who doesn't respect regulations? They might be capable and responsible to work, but they don't abide by the rules, or often bend the rules. This would create conflict in the work environment. At this point, you have to be careful. There might be a chance of trouble, because most employees know this is not suitable. You have to be very cautious. For this type of employee, you have to ask them to leave, not to fire them or advise them to leave, otherwise you will be in trouble. The next category, which is very dangerous and is very hard to dismiss, such as the type that urges friends and colleagues to do the wrong things. Sometimes, this type of employee will urge their friends to go to a fight or go to other unsuitable places. This type of person might urge people to riot or to go on a strike. At the beginning, they might revolt against other organizations. Later, they would end up revolting against you. You need to be cautious of this type of person, because if you don't examine well, you might end up in the mess. This really proves that they are not responsible for themselves or for their family, as they should have been, because if they were, they would not urge friends or colleagues to do the wrong things. If this happens, it shows that you were negligent because you didn't check properly about how responsible they were. Do you understand? The next type of worker is even harder to fire. But in reality, you should not keep these employees. Why is it so? These are the ones that no one can advise. They are capable employees, but they are haughty. No one can advise them because they get angry easily. You might have to beg them to leave. Don't fire them because it is dangerous. Then, the best way to recruit is to select workers to your best ability and trial them for quite a long time and see whether they are the type that one can advise or not. At first, there might be no sign, but they show their true colors later, and that no one can advise them except you. Then this time, try to transfer them to positions or to a section that soon will be abolished. Then you will be saved, i.e., if it's not too hard. And another type that you need to dismiss is those employees who like to interfere with others. Why is it so? These people have the ability to report on other issues, especially on other people, even if it has nothing to do with them. You might think that they are spying for you, but not really. They just like to put their fingers in others' pies. You need to be very careful. If you don't pay attention from the beginning, and you have to dismiss them, then your organization will be in turmoil, and it might be fatal.